Impodcast time.
In a way, it's Home Impodcast time. In a way, it's not. Jordan is still away, and our schedules have been a little bit more difficult of late. So what I wanted to do is I was up Houghton Lake, northern Michigan area, celebrating Father's Day with my dad. Coincidentally, it was the same time as the Richard Karn Midland baseball game. So what we did, we set up a mic, and my dad and I had a conversation about home improvement, much like we did with the mothers a few weeks ago. We just kind of sat down, talked about memories of the show, television tastes, favorite TV dads and things of that nature. So I don't want to talk too much about the Richard Karn game itself because I am going to discuss that with Jordan when he's back next week. But I'll say a little bit about it right now. Again, or not again, because you haven't heard what I'm going to say about it with my dad. But so for the first time, first class operation in Midland, they treated us to some fantastic seats. The Karnman looked great. Each member of my family and a dear friend of mine, Ryan Thornburg, had an opportunity to talk to Richard face to face, which is kind of, every young home improvement podcaster's dream, that you can, introduce your parents to one of your close friends. And I consider Richard Karn to be a close friend at this point. But no, in all seriousness, it was really fun. It was a close game. I got a home improvement shirt. The Karnman did various things at the ballpark. But that's really all I want to say about it, because you're going to hear a little bit about it talking when I talk to my dad in a second, and you're going to hear a lot more about it when I talk to Jordan next week. But there are some pictures on Twitter. I suspect at this point many of you will have seen those. But again, thanks so much to the Loons and the Karnman. It was really a great time. So the interview is happening next. We will come back next week with, what is the name of the episode? I just looked it up. It's a Thanksgiving episode entitled The Wood, the Bad, and the Hungry. And it looks like Benny's going to be in the fold. And that is sometimes good and sometimes not, usually not. But I hope you enjoyed the interview. The sound quality on this one is not going to be stellar. Jordan typically edits the episodes, and by typically I mean Jordan has edited every episode we've ever done. So if this one is a little bit rough around the edges, it's because Jordan's away. So when he comes back next week, we'll be sure and tell him how much we missed him. But yeah, the sound is a little bit inferior. The room was echoey. I was moving about in my mom's, 400-year-old dining room chair. It's very squeaky. You'll hear that as well. But try not to focus on that. Try to focus on the content. I think it's a good conversation. My dad is a skilled speaker, and he knows his home improvement. So without further ado, we're going to get into that. Thanks so much, and hope you enjoy it. I want to welcome everybody to a special installment here of Home Impodcast. We had the mothers on for Mother's Day a few weeks ago, and that was such a great time that we're doing it again. This time in person, joined by my father, Brad Dietz. How you doing today, Dad?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to this.
So we're going to talk a little bit today about, obviously home improvement, but we're going to start yesterday with kind of a special thing. People that follow us on Twitter will already know about this, but we headed to Midland, Dow Diamond specifically, and we took in a Loons game with special guest Richard Karn. It was a good time. What'd you think of all that?
It was a great day. We had a busy day prior to going to the ball game. I'd never been to the field. Always wanted to go. Talked to a lot of people that had been there. Had lots of fun. Home improvement night was a good deal.
In terms of specific stuff they did, obviously Karnman throughout the first pitch. I wouldn't have said a strike, but he looked good doing it. He bounced it in there, looked good in his Loon uniform. Other things they did, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, home improvement related stuff. There was a trivia question near the end, wherein it was like what number is associated with Binford Tools, and it was 6,100. He sang the 7th inning stretch, seemed to not know the words off the top of his head, was holding a sheet of paper looking at that. And then there was a meet and greet. We did that separately. Yeah. Went up, talked to him. I'm going to cover this in greater detail at a different point. Right. But what'd you think of the Karnman in person? He looked pretty good. What'd you say to him? Did you, lock eyes, have any kind of meaningful moments?
It was just really fun. He was one of my favorite characters on the show way back when. Always liked the show. Mom and I liked it. You were a little guy, or seemed like a little guy at the time. We had a lot of fun with it. I would have to say it was one of my, I don't know, maybe even top 20 situation comedies of all time. Last night, Karn, he was one of my favorite characters, as I said. He looked good last night. It always looks good to see somebody that hasn't aged maybe as much as what I feel like maybe they like I have. But first pitch was good. We were so close. We had such great seats. And I don't remember the singing so much. I probably was distracted with something else at the time. But yeah, really enjoyed getting the autograph.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, I didn't mention that at the beginning so much, but yeah, thank you to the Loons for those great seats, and right behind the dugout, first row, couldn't ask for better seats, and it was a good game too. They ended up losing in extras, but it was fun, competitive, good minor league baseball. Earlier, you mentioned Home Improvement for you is a top 20 situation comedy of all time. What are just kind of your memories from watching the show in the 90s? When do you think you started watching? Was it early on? We'll start there.
Yeah, I don't think about the show a lot anymore, but I like Tim Allen. I like the characters. I like the boys. Just a lot of fun with it. I figured it was well done. It was a new kind of show or humor at the time. It kind of ushered in an era. Really enjoyed that aspect of it. Remember seeing the cast when they filmed. I think Mom talked about this at Mother's Day.
Yeah, Shanna was on too. Yeah. She talked about it.
Okay.
So it's been covered, but it was a big thing for us
up at Traverse City, and I just remember everybody I never heard anybody that didn't like Home Improvement, and I feel like, although I don't have any data on it, I feel like they really had good ratings.
Yeah, it was the number one show definitely for one season. It was top 10 for the first 7 of 8 or something. So, and this was back when like 25 million people might watch Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you might have had 600,000 people that watched Mad Men or something.
Really?
So things are a lot different.
Big change. Well, not the choices any.
Yeah.
Back then, I guess.
Right.
Huh.
But
yeah, it was fun. I just a lot of memories if I really thought about it. I liked Wilson. Mm-hmm. And Tim at Christmas, the roof stuff, I don't think so, Tim kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do you have specific episodes that stand out to you, or memories from episodes that you liked?
A specific episode. I remember not wanting to watch when, I get the names mixed up, but I think it was Randy, the Lion King guy.
Yeah.
When he was going to leave, and we knew he was going to leave, and I thought, this show will never be the same without him. How can it be? Mm-hmm. And I guess it was, or maybe it wasn't.
I don't know that it was.
I don't know that it was, but I remember trying to avoid that episode in a way.
Yeah.
Specific episode, I'm not sure. I never felt good. I wasn't real comfortable with the gothic youngest boy.
Yeah, that's kind of a low point for
the
show. I
just never understood why they did that. I guess it was something that was relevant at the time.
Yeah, it's funny. I always felt like I enjoyed the Christmas and Halloween episodes the most.
Oh, yeah.
I remember...
Tim was so outrageous.
3, maybe 4 years ago, before the podcast even started, we were in London on Christmas, and we were, you might not remember this, we were perusing YouTube for kind of Christmas-related things to watch over there, and we watched an early Christmas episode.
I think I do remember that.
And it might have been from the first season, but they generally do Christmas pretty well.
Yeah.
As well.
The whole Doc
Johnson.
Doc Johnson and Winning. There's so many memories. If I thought about it, I could just go on and on. One show that had such influence to me and so many people, I don't really think about it, but the whole idea of a man's man, and his garage and the importance. And now I'm just thinking, for the first time ever, did he have anything to do with the whole idea of a man cave, which is popular now?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think being in Michigan as well kind of added an extra layer to the show.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say so?
The shirts, the jerseys, the Traverse City. Being a Michigander, and and him being a Michigan guy, I don't always really think about him so much now and his new show. But then, before politics got involved in our lives and people and movie stars, I guess it was a simpler time, and it was fun. It was fun. Everything about it.
And it's well, the show itself, is filmed in California. Over the course of the run, they do pretty good with their Michigan references. We watched an episode recently where they were going to he won a car award and he was heading to Saginaw, and they were referencing, 75 and specific roads, and they do pretty well with that. And Al, earlier on in the show, he buys a cabin at Houghton Lake, and he fixes it up. They're not, and they do an ice fishing Houghton Lake episode where, well, we didn't mention this, but we are live from Houghton Lake right now.
Yeah, we sure are.
So, it's fun to kind of have a show.
Boy, if I knew that, I forgot it.
Yeah, it's fun to have a show where you are able to enjoy those sort of references, and even if you don't understand them, they seem authentic. So
yeah, you bring back so many things that I hadn't thought about. Makes it even more fun to talk about. Makes me want to watch it more. I really don't see a lot of them. It's funny though. Just the other day, I turned it on because Mom's sitting in the living room. And I wanted to go outside and work in the yard. And I said, I can't find much. And I didn't say anything, but I found that. And I left it on. And I came back an hour or so later, maybe 2 hours. It was still on. Yeah. And I asked her some questions. I've been listening to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're all on Hulu as of a couple years ago. That's kind of how we watch them. And then there's a Laugh TV network that I get through my antenna that plays them a lot too. But for a long time, they weren't really available anywhere besides sometimes on the Hallmark Channel. But streaming has kind of helped that out. One of my memories with the show is getting very excited for the finale. I remember where we watched it. I remember where the TV was in our living room. All these things. And it was kind of a letdown. I don't know if you...
Got to help me on this one.
The finale?
Yeah.
I don't know. As far as specifics go, we were just sort of sad that it came to a close and a little bit disappointed, I remember, by the finale in terms of why, Tim they moved to Indiana and they take the house with them because they can't decide what to do with the house, so the house is on wheels. But I remember feeling disappointed. Apparently, the disappointment has not held with you over these years.
Well,
you've moved on.
You know what? Now that you bring it up, I'll probably conjure up more memories and say, I know what you mean. Yeah. But that's one of the things that I haven't thought a lot about. Just good memories of a different time, an appreciation for Tim Allen, because I had heard that prior to the show, probably during the show, he did a lot of stand-up, and that at that time, and it was a more innocent, I think it was a more innocent time, or I was more innocent, I had heard that his stand-up was a little R-rated kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess I was okay with that, but I thought, oh, cool. He's doing family stuff now. He sees the light.
Right, yeah. In terms of kind of transitioning from Home Improvement, what are some of your favorite shows of all time? What stands out to you? It doesn't have to be comedy. It can be anything.
Man, I'll tell you what. I don't watch as much as I might like to, but yet I still kind of have made it something sort of a big deal over the course of time. I guess I don't know why this is coming up first. I have no idea. It must mean something. Sopranos.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, on the other hand, might have been my favorite of the binge watching that I ever did when I first learned that term. Your mother and I enjoyed. But as far as network television, what we used to call network, I grew up in the early 60s, 2 networks, then 3, black and white. Ozzie and Harriet, Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver. These were biggies. Later, the Beverly Hillbillies. But I could go on and on. I guess situation comedies we watched. Primetime used to start at 7 o'clock. A lot of people Probably hadn't thought of that in years.
Yeah.
A lot of people never knew it. So from 7 until 11, we had prime time. So I suppose when I was a kid, there were times I sat there a good 3 hours, depending on when I went to bed, and watched a lot. There were more half-hour shows than hour shows back in the day.
Yeah.
Westerns were an hour, and there were a lot of those, which I wasn't into big time. But situation comedies, scary stuff, Twilight Zone, big deal.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twilight Zone I know is a favorite of yours. Sopranos, less into the. You're watching Game of Thrones now.
Yeah,
yeah. Middle of the road on that. Liking
it, and sometimes I wonder, am I liking it because I believe that I'm supposed to?
Sure.
But it's the thing, and I don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
And I do like it. Your mother likes it.
Yeah.
I have heard that it gets better and better, and I applaud for what it represents, what they've done with it. It's ushered in new ways of life, new interests, and I've kept away from the spoilers to tell me who gains the throne. Sure. Unfortunately, your mother has not.
Sure. In terms of Twilight Zone, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Are you familiar with Jack Elam?
Say it again.
Jack Elam.
Name.
All right, so you know.
Is he a writer?
No, it's the diner episode. We talk about all
the 3-eye guy.
Yeah, he is the crazy old man in that episode. The guy that is like kind of kooky and he's laughing the whole time.
3 arms?
No, he's like there's like an old timer kind of guy that is
I bet I'd know him. He probably was a character actor.
Yeah, he was. He's prominently displayed in an early episode of Home Improvement.
Oh wow.
He and Ernest Borgnine come out and they're buddies and
they're
on
you really piqued my curiosity now.
Yeah, it's you know if saw him.
Yeah.
That's kind of a connection, and Borgnine, of course.
I'm gonna check it out.
Kind of a Houghton Lake connection as well.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing things to a close here. Favorite? It is Father's Day. As we record this, will come out afterwards. But favorite TV dads, favorite TV families. Anything kind of come to mind?
Favorite TV dads. Haven't spent it. I've seen articles on this. I remember last Father's Day reading some things online. Favorite TV dads. Well, it wouldn't have been Ward Cleaver, although I thought he was cool to a certain extent. I liked the sweaters and so on. I'm trying to think. Tim.
Yeah,
Tim was. And controversial though it may be, a lot of people in the day would have said, you know who, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, true.
And I liked Bill for another reason. He used to do the albums years ago we listened to when I was a kid, comedy. Favorite TV dad, there's been a lot of great ones. I don't know that I can think of one specific right now.
Sure.
I could, but not yet.
Were you a big Family Ties guy, or not really? People like that
guy. Ties was Alex Keaton, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Gross.
Oh, I liked Michael Gross.
Yeah, people like him a lot.
And it always kind of, I found it, I don't know if it was curious or what, that whenever he'd play another role, I thought, well, this is cool, but he needs to act more like
the dad.
Family Ties guy.
He's in some Tremors movies, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of Tremors. I liked him. He was good. It's funny. I could sit here and keep thinking of things, but I remember, you remember the show? Oh gosh. Not Rhoda. No. What was the one? Rhoda actually was in it in the beginning. Then Valerie, Sandy Duncan.
Valerie something?
Yeah, Valerie. Anyway, Jason Bateman show.
Okay.
His dad was an airline pilot.
Okay.
I always felt bad for the kids because he was away from home so much. Yeah. So he would not have been my favorite.
No, he's a bad one. Yeah.
I can't think
Is Archie Bunker a good or bad TV dad? You like Archie Bunker quite a bit.
Archie Bunker is a character that revolutionized television, and I do like Archie Bunker. Yeah. I'm nothing like Archie Bunker, but I knew a lot of people that had a lot of Archie Bunker in them. And I still know a few that might. Archie Bunker, was he a good dad? He loved Gloria. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. He was a good husband, a good dad, a good American, and Carol O'Connor was a great actor.
Yeah. And you kind of enjoyed the recent update of that.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I had so many observations from it. I really did, as far as Jamie, well, this isn't him, but Jamie Foxx and what he was able to do with the George Jefferson depiction. I guess it was Marissa Tomei, George Costanza's lady. She was outstanding as Edith. And Woody Harrelson did a good Archie. Yeah. And so did the guy that did Meathead. I don't even know him much. But
Ike Barinholtz. Yeah, he's a good one.
But I did enjoy it. And what I thought was really interesting was what was okay on the air in the early 70s, what's okay on the air and on stage now. Yeah. I could be eager to get into a conversation on that anytime. Yeah. And just fascinating stuff. Yeah,
things have definitely changed for the better with regard to that. Yeah. But it was crazy to hear some of those things come out on network television. But
it really was.
I think that was kind of the point, to show how far things have changed.
I guess it was. I don't always understand what is the purpose of what, but I sure like to talk about it. I like to learn about it, and I like to watch stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and read stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that we're pretty much nearing an end here. It is Father's Day.
I could go on and on.
Couldn't we all?
Yeah,
I got to get back home eventually. We have some mini golf to play.
Yes,
What are your plans today, tomorrow? What do you got going on as Father's Day kind of rolls onward?
Yeah, Father's Day today. It's for one thing, it's just great to have one of my kids here on Father's Day. I was fortunate enough to have it last year with Shanna, my daughter, and she was home from between assignments as a diplomat. So that was wonderful. Her and the family. You're here makes it special. Went through some Father's Days without the kids here. Never the same, but always a great appreciation for your kids. Father's Day is a big deal. It was. It's a bigger deal now than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
I doubt that I even got my dad much of a Father's Day gift. We didn't talk about it. They talk about it in church. Yeah. That was about it. Yeah. And we just would say, "Hey, it's Father's Day. Cool. Let's have a big meal."
Right.
Today, we're going to go play mini golf. You're going to go home. I'm going to think about all the fun we had this weekend with the Loons game and different things that we've done, Scrabble, the mini golf, and so on. And I'm just going to get back out in the yard and do my thing as a 67-year-old father, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, any final thoughts on Home Improvement? Anything you want to?
Home Improvement. You got me kind of thinking. Need to see some of those old episodes, including the last. I don't want to see the last one yet. Maybe the first one would be fun. Yeah. Maybe it'd be fun to look at Tim and how he changed, and how the characters changed, and just how it was funny. Yeah. How it was funny.
And the kids are so little, and everybody looks different. Yeah. Fashions.
I got Hulu. Yeah. And what was funny then, and what might not be funny, or what they could say then, and the kids.
Home Improvement, pretty tame from that perspective. Good. With the pilot, there is a joke. And we watched the pilot a handful of times. There's a Sears joke that brings the house down. They joke about Tim going to Sears for a tool sale, and the live studio audience just goes crazy. And Jordan and I watched it years later, and we thought, okay, what's so funny about Sears?
Not that big a deal.
I don't know. Yeah, it just
I don't think. No, I really got.
I don't think about Sears anymore.
This was the pilot.
Yeah.
Sears was probably strong at the time.
I think
Sears is all but gone.
Has no name recognition to me, but that's a whole different conversation for another time. Thank you for coming on. Happy Father's Day. And
ratings are going to go up after today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, take care, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.